Yeah, let's load. Look at the seat.
Yeah.
You watching? Look at that. Oh yeah. There's loads of room on the seat.
Fuel light's on. Oh no, check engine light is on.
The grips are quite skinny, and it's got Mickey Mouse ears, which would have to change. Oh, it's wobbling. I can feel it wobbling up and down like udders. Like udders.
Yeah, bar end mirrors would look really good on these. Would look really good on that.
So this is the Commando 961 Sport, because it's got higher bars. The Cafe Race has clip-ons, and actually I wouldn't be too bad with that. Right. But yeah, look at my knees, look at my legs. Not too bad at all.
Oh yeah, that's a bit more yeah.
They're lower. These foot pegs are lower and further forward than on the Thruxton.
It definitely looks a bigger bike than this, significantly bigger. Not that that's a bad thing. It looks nice and chunky.
The clocks are old-fashioned clocks. They're not. There's a delay, so they're not electronic like on that. Oh, that's the horn, not the cancel. The front brakes are quite sharp. Yeah, my knees are quite compressed, but maybe if I sat back... Ah, yeah, let's load. Look at the seat.
Yeah.
You watching? Look at that. Oh, yeah. There's loads of room on the seat. Is what I was trying to illustrate there.
Grinding away on it. I will say that, you know, I said that the tail unit looks too long for me.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few things I don't like about that.
Yeah.
When someone sat on it, it looks a better proportion.
It's a nice seat. It's quite hard though.
Yeah. I think the proportions work once someone sat on it. Yeah, the pinstriping does a nice thing around that rear light, that integrated rear light. It looks quite cool.
Oh, very cool. It's nice to see you on a thrusty behind me again. So, position-wise, I'm leaning a bit forwards, but not too far forwards. It's quite nice, but it is very vibey. Engine braking's good.
It sounds good from back here.
Does it? All right.
I mean, it's very empty space. I mean, it's just an open frame, isn't it? But they also haven't hidden all the pipework like they have on the Triumphs. But then it's meant to look old-fashioned, isn't it?
It definitely looks more classic.
This is a 961cc engine, air-cooled, so it's akin to the old Thruxton.
That's one of those funny exhausts where it just overpowers the intercom and you accelerated and just heard exhaust. The only thing I'd say, the mirrors don't look too bad. I mean, they look better as bar end ones, I think.
Yeah,
but,
obviously, yeah.
The only thing that I think looks out of place, and I'd go, what on earth were they thinking? Are those indicators? I think it's the only thing on the bike that looks cheap.
Yeah, the grips are very, very thin and hard, and the seat's very hard as well.
So the old Thruxton 900 air-cooled parallel twin had 60 brake. This has 78 brake. And so from an engine point of view, it's actually quite good.
So it's like halfway in between the 900 and 1200 Thruxtons.
Well, yeah, and this is a 961, so displacement-wise, it's actually, you're getting a lot of power out of it compared to the old air-cooled Thruxton. Yeah, it's very vibey.
There's no gear indicator, so I was checking I was in gear. The switch gear looks very 1980s.
Where's he going? Oh no, red.
Oh.
I think that was the guy who was smoking weed. The smell has gone now. I got a strong smell of weed and now it's gone. So I think
see.
It was the van driver.
Ah, well yes, it's probably the van driver, yeah. I feel quite high up. I feel like I'm sitting in the bike rather than on top like on a Thruxton.
The carbon mudguard.
Yeah.
It just feels a bit out of place on that.
I completely agree with you. It's like they've added it to be able to call it a sport. I keep wanting to press the horn to cancel the indicator.
I've no idea what speed I'm doing, by the way. The speedo doesn't work.
Well, we're doing 30.
Oh, lovely.
For some reason, the ABS light is on as well.
Maybe that's because the speedo doesn't work.
Oh, probably.
It's very sewing machine-y, like on my old Thruxton. And the character, yeah, but it's also quite vibey as well. It's a weird... It does feel... I hesitate to say it feels like a Harley, but I've got that visceral feeling I had on the Harley,
Yeah.
being able to feel the engine, but it doesn't feel like it's got much oomph. But it's because
Okay.
it weighs as much as a bobber with less power.
Certainly, when you rev it, you can hear the difference compared to this. When you rev this, this
Yeah.
sounds so much smoother.
Yeah, this is quite clunky. The gear is quite light. Yeah, listen to this.
Yeah, you can hear the
Yeah.
compared to this, which, yeah,
It's not as refined.
which is quite amusing, because in isolation I hear this and go, yeah, you can tell it's a twin. But next to that, it sounds really smooth and
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll come alive on the twisties. It's a 761cc parallel twin with 78 brake horsepower and about 70 foot-pounds of torque.
yeah.
And it just feels a bit gutless at the moment, but then maybe that's unfair because it's air cooled. That's full. Not bad.
Yeah. How's the cutout tank shape working for you?
Oh, it's nice. If we get my knees tucked in, I actually have to move my arse to the back of the seat, which I think is the point. I am leant forward quite a lot, even though my arms aren't down here. So the body position would be the same, whether you get the cafe racer or not.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah, because my body position would be the same, but my hands would just be there instead.
Yeah.
But my body position is still the same because of the way the seat is angled forward and the way my feet are. And it's got plenty. Yeah, I mean, once you get going, it just doesn't have that immediate oomph that I'm used to on the Triumphs. But that's 1200cc with good torque. I mean, it redlines at 7,500, which is the same as on the Thruxton, isn't it? I used to bounce off the limiter at 7.5, I seem to remember. It's very buzzy. The handlebar is very buzzy. It just feels a bit Heath Robinson. But then, is that the point of a Norton? It's very buzzy though, through the feet and the hands. Yeah.
Oh.
It really is. It's worse than Dave's R9T was.
Oh yeah, the boxers are definitely vibey.
Yeah, but this is worse.
Oh.
Whether it needs more oil or not, I don't know. Well, so far I'm a bit disappointed. Oh well.
Oh dear. On the plus side, it does look good.
That's full throttle, and it comes on song at about 5,500 revs.
Yeah, I think I was using about 50% throttle there to keep up with you.
Yeah. Here. Okay, rev limiters at 7 because I nearly fell over the handlebars. It does sound good, I'll give it that. It sounds rorty.
And if the suspension and brakes are good, you know, that's a good thing. But
Yeah. Well, the trouble is the ABS isn't working, so they're not that good. That's full throttle. That's a bit gutless, really. So you get to 5,500 revs where it comes on song, and then you run out of revs at 7. So as soon as you actually get it in the sweet spot for accelerating, it runs out of revs. I mean, it's still a beautiful bike, but I still need to work out how much it costs. If it's anything over 13, there's no point.
I'm pretty sure it's about 15 or 16 grand.
And the throttle's a bit snatchy too, so it doesn't inspire confidence. I am disappointed. That's annoying! I didn't want to be... I've always wanted one of these.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't compare it with the Thruxton because that's a bigger engine. You kind of have to because
Yeah.
it's a cafe racer. Now this is effectively, because this is the Sport with the high bars, this is the equivalent of the Speed Twin. And the cafe racer is the equivalent of the Thruxton. Yeah?
Yep.
So then, you are comparing it and you're comparing price. Now, is Norton a more luxury brand or racing pedigree brand than Triumph?
I wouldn't, no, not racing pedigree, no, but I would say it's more of a I don't know, there's a little more cachet, a little
So
bit...
would you be happy to pay an extra £3 for the Norton name for a worse bike?
No.
That's the bottom line, sir.
Oh yeah, that is really, that's significant.
It's a big bike, and it's taller too. To that, I mean, this look, because it's so open and like a girder, it actually looks less finished.
Oh yeah.
And I know most people would prefer that, because people do that to bobbers, don't they? They cut all the
Yeah.
bits away.
Yeah, when I look at the rear, wow, that's so different. I mean, when you look at it like that,
Look how fat it is compared to yours.
yeah, the tanks, everything. You see what I mean about the rear now? It sort of just kicks up and it.
Yeah, I much prefer the Thruxton. Curb weight. Curb weight is empty, dry 230. Yours is 210 dry.
That's a big old difference. That is.
I mean, the straight bars help the agility, but I like how the tank is kind of flat. It's old school.
Yeah, can't deny it's old school.
Bally Ho, here's the walk around of the Norton Commando 961 Sport. Now you've got two types, the Sport and the Cafe Racer. The Sport has these higher straight bars, the Cafe Racer has clip-on slightly lower down, probably about 4 inches below. So here we go, great big round headlight, conventional, not LED. And it has a carbon fibre mudguard at the front, which actually is a bit out of place, because what Bigglesworth and I have decided is that it's actually old school. So the carbon fibre maybe just to say, look, it's sporty, but actually it doesn't really do anything for the aesthetics of the bike. So looking at it from the distance, side on, it's a really nice looking bike the way you look at it side on. But what I found riding it was just sort of a bit too tall. It felt tall, even though the seat height is the same as on the Thruxton. Very odd. And I can flat foot, but I've got 32-inch inside leg, so I've got long legs, and I'm 6'1". But it's weird. The distance between the seat and the handlebars is actually quite a long way. So I'm canted forwards quite a bit. The compression on the knees isn't quite as much as the Thruxton, but it's still quite a bit. You've got twin clocks in traditional cups, and they are not digital clocks, they're analog. There's a delay on the rev counter, and being a Norton, the speedo doesn't work. There's a shock, which is what makes me think that the ABS doesn't work as well, because the ABS light's on as well. So there's a few issues with this bike already. No fuel gauge, so I'm waiting for the fuel light to come on. So we've got Brembo twin brakes at the front, and Öhlins front forks, whereas the Thruxton has Showa big piston forks at the front, but Öhlins at the back. This has Öhlins across the board, so obviously they've tried to tart it up a bit with full Öhlins. You've got the cam covers here, it's very shiny and nice. You've got the evocative Norton shape to the crankcase there, and it's all very nice. And you've got quite an open frame there. Some people like that, it's old school, but for me it just seems a bit unfinished. But it is very shiny, and you can actually ask for different finishes to the engine crankcase. Whether you want shiny or even shinier, or brushed or painted black, it's up to you. And then the cam covers are shiny too, which, I mean, the look of the bike being black and gold is nice. It comes in black and silver, black and gold, with the Norton sort of italic writing. Lockable tank filler cap, which again isn't anything special. There aren't that many extras you can get for it, so you can't get like a billet fuel tank cap, but I'm sure aftermarket places will do them. And the panel here, which hides the airbox, that's actually tucked inside the frame, so it looks, there's a sort of a 3D effect to that side panel, which is quite nice. The seat, it's nice and long, so you can move forward and back quite easily, loads of movement, but it is very hard. But it's a nice seat as it goes.
It looks pretty, the seat. It's a lovely design, the way it's sort of just...
Yeah, oh no, the stitching is very nice, and obviously you can remove this for the pillion passenger, because it does have pillion pegs here, but they're full of water. They just don't look finished. Yeah. They're full of water. Well, they're waterproof.
Oh, brilliant.
But it's just, a lot of the stuff we've been talking about on this ride is that it just seems a bit unfinished. And that click is also just very
Oh yeah.
jagged. Go on, have a feel. See what you think.
Oh yeah.
It just doesn't feel quality. Now the paint coating on the frame looks very good quality, but there are bits and pieces. So you've got the adjustable Brembo front brake, you've got the adjustable hydraulic action clutch lever there as well, fully adjustable as well. That's Brembo as well, or branded anyway. But then the chrome mirrors feel a bit cheap. The reservoirs for both. The indicators are pretty, let's face it, nasty. The reason why I'm coming across all negative is because it's an expensive bike. I'll double check this, but we reckon it's around 15 grand. Now, Thruxton, brand new, 13.2, and it's probably why we're being a bit meaner about this, because it's an engine that's got 80 brake, 80 newton meters of torque. It feels a bit gutless. To pay 15 grand, you're paying 3 or 4 grand more for the name. And that beautiful engine, to be fair. But it might be a beautiful engine, but it's a bit gutless, as I say. I've always liked the back. Is it 20 grand?
No, not quite that bad.
Oh, £16,500. Well, that answers that question. But it is beautiful. Look at this. It's got the Norton hourglass shape. And that bottom is very pretty. I've always liked... the thing that gets me is I've always loved the shape of this bike. I've always looked at it and gone, oh, yes. But riding it, I mean, the exhaust's full bore, nice and rorty, and it's just a bit slab-sided. It could have been curvy. You know, they could have just put a bit more into it, especially for the price. This side, nice and shiny. Very shiny. With the gear rod selector. That's all nice. I like that. That's really cool. Side stand, good quality. It's in a weird place, but it's good quality. It's a bit further forward than I was keep expecting. There's a little rear hugger here. There's just to keep the dirt off that reg rec there. So obviously the airbox is in there. You could remove that if you wanted to, I suppose. It's oil cooled. It's air cooled engine, which is probably why it hasn't got as much oomph. I seem to think that the more modern liquid-cooled engines do have more power because they're liquid-cooled. It's a lovely lump, but there's just a few bits and pieces. It's like they got a 40-year-old bike and threw modern shit at it, like suspension and brakes and Brembo brakes and Öhlins. However, when you look at the switchgear, it's like a early 1980s Honda. It's just very meh. Yeah.
The other thing, I mean, and this is a personal thing, I'm not particularly keen on the finish of the...
No, it's like a brushed, almost military. I have wanted to ride this since I got my licence in 2012. I've always coveted Nortons, especially the Commando. But it's almost as if it needs to be 4 or 5 grand cheaper for the engine displacement and power. I haven't mentioned this yet, it's 230 kilograms dry, which is basically a bobber. It doesn't feel top heavy, but maybe that's because of the good suspension, but also that nicely canted forward canted engine, and that's a Norton look as well. It needs to be a bit lower, a bit lighter, a bit faster, with better switchgear and better clocks for it to warrant the 16,500 price tag.
Yeah.
And it is a lovely machine, I can't deny the looks of it, but riding it, I was disappointed. And what was the tagline we came up with? It doesn't go as fast as it looks.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So, yes, conclusion, in summary, it just doesn't go as fast as it looks. What a pity.
I don't think you can get away with charging a ton of extra money just for the name.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, if it had the same engine and you were paying for the name and for the slightly shinier bits than you get on a standard Thruxton, for example,
Yeah.
then maybe.
Yeah.
But I think because it's got that smaller engine with less power and less torque,
Yeah.
it's a bit difficult to make a case for it.
That's where I've come to. I wanted to feel really special.
Yeah.
And all I keep thinking about is your Thruxton. Because this is just a really vibey version of my old 900 Thruxton with a little bit more oomph and a better growl. And yet, I could buy that for 6 grand. got a nice throaty sound to it, but it's just a bit gutless, which is a shame. It just accelerates, it doesn't have a shove.
What, that feeling of, whoa, can I hold on?
Yeah. And the dash lights are really dim as well.
there's really not much to say about it.
Oh dear.
I mean, it's a lovely looking bike, and I suppose for a bit of fun.
That is. When you said hard seat.
Told you. Really, your clutch is so much lighter. It's just, you'll see what I mean about how refined the Thruxton is after that.
Oh my word.
Hello, Thrusty, I've missed you, darling. What do you think?
Yeah. It's Christ, that's vibey. God, that's not even. When you said vibey, I thought, oh bloody hell.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get another Thruxton, I think.
Oh, hang on, I'm just going to put. Yeah, let's pull over. Where's the indicator? Oh, there it is.
Exactly, it's the indicator's where the horn should be.
Oh my word.
Have you had enough?
Yeah, I want to get back on with Thruxton.
All right. Yeah, the side stand's quite far forward.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a bizarre bike.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a really odd feel when you accelerate. The throttle doesn't really seem attached, does it?
Well, the strange thing is, having ridden a street twin, a Triumph street twin,
Yeah.
it felt punchier than this. I mean, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I remember getting on that from my original Thruxton and going, cool, this has got a bit of zip. But you said this has got about 10 horsepower more, didn't you? Or...
Yeah. It's about 78 horsepower.
But it feels very lazy.
Yeah, very lazy. And the trouble is, it comes on song at 5,500 revs, but then it hits the rev limiter at 7.
Yeah.
There's a bit of torque shove at around 3,000 RPM.
Wow.
I mean, it's nice, but it's just, it feels, I suppose it feels like a 40-year-old bike.
Yeah, but next to that, it's night and day.
Would you pay for the gold? Would you
No.
pay more?
No, not even, no.
Look at the way the bars are shaking now. Just an idle.
I do like the noise, but
Yeah.
it's very vibey. As you sort of said, it feels a bit gutless.
Yeah.
Even just a little run up the road.
And it's an unusual seating position as well.
And that is just hard seat as well. That really is.
I told you.
Oh. But the vibes, I'm surprised you're able to stand. I think I'd have numb legs after about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was up my feet and up my hands. Actually, let's just check the map.
Oh yeah. Oh baby. Oh.
Yeah, I know. That was the most comfortable thing I've sat on for 2 hours.
Oh dear. The bike doesn't go how it looks.
That is the tagline. Doesn't go how it looks. Ready?
Yeah. Here's the sort of clincher, right? You could get. I bought this with 2,200 miles on the clock.
Yeah.
For £9,000.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a 2019 model.
Yeah. See, at no point do I think I'm going to pull a wheelie. There's no shove.
Right.
There's nothing. And I'm having to do this because of the buzziness.
Ah.
I've no idea how much fuel I've got either. There's no fuel gauge.
Oh. Oh.
So I suppose when the light comes on, we stop.
I can't imagine life without a fuel gauge now.
I know. Well, it's all giggles. I mean, it corners nicely, but it does feel like an old bike.
If you want that authentic old bike look and feel, then great.
But it just doesn't have the oomph that you're expecting.
I must admit, the suspension felt nice, but the other things overwhelmed the experience,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's nice once you're up to speed. It's just hard work and very vibey.
But that, I think the vibiness would, I think that would drive me insane.
Yeah, I mean, I can go quickly on it. It's just not got that exciting oomph I thought it would.
I think you'd get frustrated by it.
I would, yeah. The position's all wrong as well. If I'm cantered forward like this, I want to have clip-ons. If I'm going to be leaning forwards anyway, I may as well be. You got to keep it around the 5,000 RPM mark to have fun, but then it's too vibey. So it's just that you can't win. Oh, my feet are just vibing all over the place. Oh dear. A good road though. Whee! I mean, it is light. You can flick it, but it's too tall.
Yeah.
I'm having to put quite a lot. I'm putting more effort in to turn it in than on the Thruxton. Put it that way.
Yeah. I suppose I only rode it for a few seconds before I decided I'd had enough.
Right. Got over the disappointment. I am going to enjoy this last bit.
Yeah.
Do I look good on it? That's the other thing.
You do. I mean, as I said, that's one thing. It is a taller bike and it's a bit of a chunky bike.
Yeah.
For big blokes like us,
Yeah.
it looks about the right. To be fair, it looks about the right size for you.
Oh, good. Okay. Because when I was on the street triple, I looked like, well, basically a gorilla humping a turtle.
Yeah. No, it looks about the right size proportionally, but yeah.
I must admit, I don't think we've got the wrong sorts of roads to test this bike. I don't think someone's going to comment on the video saying, "Oh, you want to do fast sweeping A roads."
No.
I don't think so. I think this is the
I think you'd be even more disappointed on a fast sweeping A road because
there's just nothing there. Yeah. Well, there is stuff there. I'm being a bit mean, but
no, I don't think you are. I think it comes, you know, it comes down to that. The natural competitors for it are the Thruxton and the R9T and the Kawasaki Z900 RS.
the R9T's got 115 brake and goes like shit off a shovel. The R9T was basically a Thruxton with a street triple engine in it. That's how it felt. It went like shit off a shovel.
And as I said, the Z900 RS is meant to be brilliant as well. I quite like Ducatis, I've got to admit. I've got a soft spot for them.
Go quickly. Van coming. Ow!
What?
The buzz actually hurt then. It hurt my hands.
Oh, that's not good.
I suppose it's fun for a giggle, but it's not to have as a...
And maybe that's it. Maybe Norton are just aiming at people who want to go for a half-hour pootle on a Sunday. I don't know. And maybe, and if you view it like that, it makes a bit more sense, perhaps.
The price, though. Price doesn't make sense.
If you're rich and you can afford to have that as a second bike.
But if I had 16 grand, I wouldn't buy this.
No.
I would not buy this. If I had 16 grand, I'd buy the TFC Thruxton and save 1,500 quid.
True.
Or if I had 16 grand, I'd buy a 15-year-old Bentley Continental GT. So buzzy. Fuel light's on. Oh no, check engine light is on.
What?
Yep.
Well, that's not good.
So the speedo doesn't work, there's no ABS, and the check engine lights come on. Maybe it got too hot because it's air cooled.
Oh, maybe. That's still not good.
No, it isn't. Did you notice the check engine light was on? No. But you can't see them. The lights are so dull on the thing.
It's really got to you, hasn't it?
The clocks are crap. Yes.
You really wanted to love that bike.
Yep.
I find it a bit odd that they were quite happy to send you out on a demonstrator with a non-working speedo.
Yeah.
You sort of think.
It's the only one they've got that's working, apparently. That says everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, why won't you be buying it? Because it's shit.
Take it the engine warning light's still on.
Yep. It's only done 2,000 miles. And the turning circle's shit as well. That's not... There isn't much redeeming features on this, is there?
Oh
well.
dear.
We could have loads of people commenting, but it's a Norton.
No, it doesn't excuse it. Doesn't excuse it.
Thank you very much for watching. That's our review of the Norton Commando. Thank you, Bigglesworth, for his amazing help on his... Basically, he's got the fucking Thruxton I always wanted, little shit. He only did it to piss me off. He doesn't even like Thruxtons. But, you know, he only did it to piss me off. Right. Tally Bally Ho.
Oh, and then the sun gleams on the green and it looks amazing.
Right, out of shot. Out of shot.
I say.
Dad, get out of the way. Bloody hell, mate. Bloody hell.
It is a good looking bike, but I just look at it next to next to mine and just go...
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, there's lots to like about the look of it. It just doesn't front up from the look to what it is.
See what you mean about the fuel tank? I mean, that just looks as if that could come from a...
It's a cheap fuel cap, yeah.
Come from a Honda or a Suzuki.
Oh.
Feel better?
Oh. What do you think? Oh my god, I've got a Speedo that works.
The Norton was such an authentic example of a British motorbike from the 60s that it had issues.
The engine warning light came on.
So it's like, well, that's how very authentic. Oh, good old Merlin. Did they just go, oh, we want to leave the vibes in so it's got character? So I don't think it adds any character to it, it just adds frustration. And that's what I was talking about earlier on. You know, I'm following on this. Yeah, having to accelerate hard to keep, you know, it keeps up with it because they're both powerful, torquey engines. The Norton, I was barely having to do anything to keep up.